was the beginning of a trip of a lifetime. Our next stop was in Samburu. I didn't have much hope for there because it's a dry, arid, desert-like climate. However, I've learned over the years to keep my mind and eyes open to the possibilities. When you do that, great things can happen. And did they ever? I had some of my closest encounters with wildlife in Samburu. Although the landscape is desert-like, it still has an abundant amount of wildlife that rely on the Owasso River to provide life for most of them. We came across herds of elephants and came close to the less common reticulated giraffes. We encountered the gerenuk, a species of gazelle that is closely related to the giraffe. They rely on the leaves from the trees to supply them with their food and water, which is why they have the long necks. One of the smallest species of gazelle survive in Samburu as well. The dik stands only a few feet high, and they are everywhere. However, getting them on camera is not easy. They may be everywhere, but they're extremely skittish. As a wildlife photographer, I've been extremely lucky to photograph some amazing things in the wild. But there's still some things that happen that make me pause and take notice. Zebras are everywhere in Africa. So much so that you tend to overlook them. But there's one species that is extremely endangered, and I was lucky enough to photograph. The Grevy zebra is an endangered animal. There are estimated to be fewer than 2,500 left in the wild. Their numbers have dwindled due to loss of water sources, either through climate change or run-ins with humans. Since they are found in arid climates, water is extremely scarce. Efforts are being made to save the species, and there is hope that they will be successful. I was lucky because our guide explained that during the winter months in Kenya, they usually migrate out of the reserve. A visit to Africa can't be complete unless you see some of the big cats. Lions are pretty easy to spot, but some of my encounters were a little close for comfort. Cheetahs are a little more rare, but still pretty easy to find. Leopards, however, are pretty elusive, and you're lucky if you come across one. Luckily for us, luck was on our side. On the first night in the park, we came across a lioness who was lying under a bush. We watched her from a very short distance. As I was hanging over the front of the Jeep, clicking away, she stood up and walked toward the vehicle. I took a deep breath, but kept clicking. The guide tapped me on my knee and told me to be prepared to slowly sit if she got any closer. When she was within a couple of feet, close enough I did not have to use my zoom on my camera, she suddenly turned her attention to some gazelle. She began stalking her prey, and I was so excited to think that we would see a hunt. The lioness blended in perfectly with the natural environment, making it easy to understand how they can stalk their prey so well. However, before it was too far in, our guide got a call that a leopard was spotted. It may sound crazy to leave a lion hunt, but when a leopard is spotted, you go. Most people who visit Africa never get the opportunity to see these elusive creatures. Most of the time, they're seen for a fleeting moment, then they go up a tree and disappear. So when one's spotted, you go. And we went. What we found was a young, maybe 6-month-old male. He was in some rocks when we got to the spot, but he didn't stay long. He walked through the brush, stopping from time to time to pounce on bugs, like a typical house cat. He posed for us, and then found some rocks in the brush to wait for his mother. We did not stay long because we had to get back to our camp before dark. On our way back, we came across another leopard who was hunting. There was a dik in the bush, and he came up behind the small animal. Just as he pounced, the dik took off, and he missed. He stalked around the area looking for something else, and at one point came right up alongside our Jeep. So close that I could not get my focus completely clear to get a good shot. He eventually found some cover, and, like a true leopard, disappeared for good. Who knew that Samburu could offer so much in such an environment? We saw endangered zebra, lions, and the elusive leopard. But believe it or not, that wasn't even our best encounter with leopards. Our next stop was Masai Mara, where we would come across even more wildlife, and we would get the opportunity to witness part of one of nature's greatest events, the Great Migration. So until next time, keep exploring.